Guys, I am pumped up right now. Let me tell you, I am on my way to go see the Michael Jackson biopic, Michael. I've been waiting for this movie for last 3, 4 years or something like that. Since I found out that Antoine Fuqua was behind this movie, I was like, this movie's gonna be trash. I ain't gonna watch it. These guys keep on messing with Michael. But nah, bro. We got Anton Fuqua. We got the guy behind Bohemian Rhapsody, and I haven't seen that movie. But I can tell you that the screenwriter was the one that wrote The Revenant, and I love that movie. So anyway, there's a lot of resume that I'm okay with. And dude, if you don't know that I'm one of the biggest Michael Jackson fans ever in life, well, now you know. Look at what I got for my birthday, right? Now, I was going to wear this tonight. I was, but it's going to rain, and I ain't trying to get this messed up. So when I go see it for the second time, I'll definitely put it on. In fact, I'll even do a review of the movie when I'm done, and I'll go ahead and rock this. And I don't know if you can tell real quick, that's the shirt that Michael Jackson actually wore in the real Beat It video. So, yeah, your boy is authentic right now with it. And yeah, we got all the Funko Pops, all of that good stuff, man. I am so hyped right now. And I got all the albums, and we'll talk more about it after I see the movie. Babe, can you pass me my water?
Yeah.
I'm thirsty. Oh, is this the Michael Jackson tumbler? Oh, from the Moonwalk Munchies combo from the movie theater? Yes, please. Back from the movie. This is the next day. I had to kind of like let all of my thoughts simmer. Again, like I said in the intro, this is going to be a spoiler conversation. So if you're, don't want to have the movie ruined, come back, because we can have a conversation after you've seen the movie, right? So that's kind of like where I'm at with this. The first thing I'll say is that this movie, if you're a Michael Jackson fan, man, you're going to have so much fun. Now, I could say specifically for me, the theater was packed with a whole bunch of other Michael Jackson fans that were just enjoying the show, enjoying the music. Now, if you like Michael Jackson and you like his music, I can't tell you how it feels. I can't express it enough of how awesome it is to be in an IMAX theater with the state-of-the-art audio playing his music, right? Every 15 to 20 minutes. It's wild. When the movie was over, I stayed, and I know there was no end credit scene. Normally you stay in the theater when there's an end credit scene. I just stayed there enjoying the music, and so did a whole bunch of other people too. We were singing "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough," and man, it was dope. It was fun. Now I gotta say, the other thing is that Jafar Jackson as Michael Jackson was incredible. Like, the only thing I can compare it to was when what's his name, Jamie Foxx played Ray in the Ray Charles movie. Like, Ray and Jamie Foxx were the same person. When you were watching that movie, it was so indistinguishable. And I want to say 98% of the time when you're watching that movie, it is like, is that Michael? Now, the other thing I will also point out is that I remember when the trailers came out, I saw what I saw, in my opinion, bad makeup. Like, it didn't have it looked like just prosthetics. Like, the nose was like really big or it's too small and it looked awkward. But in the movie, they must have done something between the time that they released the trailer and the final version of the movie, because, man, there are times when this dude looks almost exactly like Michael Jackson back during those times, which was fantastic. The supporting cast, like Nia Long, Coleman Domingo, the mom, the dad, they were great. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. Now, I think you got to look at this movie from two lenses, right? It's like, as a movie, like, was it satisfying as a movie? And then also, obviously, as a Michael fan. So as a Michael fan, I got nothing but great things to say about this movie. And as a theatric release, I'm going to be honest with you, I felt like there was way too much going on so quickly, so fast, that it didn't give you a chance to like digest it. Like, you couldn't like live in that moment. Michael said one time, you gotta let it simmer. It had no time to simmer, because it just jumped from one section of his life to another, and to another scene, and to another situation, and it happened so quick. And the reality of it is, how could you possibly make a movie about Michael Jackson and cram it into 2 hours? Now, I know that this movie is going to actually be broken up into 2 parts, but even that second part, you have to imagine, is probably going to feel as rushed as this. In fact, I would even say that this movie probably needs like an Avatar type of treatment, which is like, it's 5-6 movies, and they're about 2.5-3 hours long. and you just got to come in because this dude lived for like and performed for 40 decades. 40 decades. 4 decades. This guy performed for 40 years. Everything he did was monumental, right? So you could have literally made a movie about any of the moments that you could think of in Michael Jackson's life. And yet it just jumped from one thing to the other so quick. Like, in my mind, at least for me, I was envisioning when this movie was announced and everything like that, they would probably go into like what the whole thriller process was like maybe show like a scene of what it was like when they released it, you know, the anticipation of the album coming out after it came out, the sales. What was like Grammy night? What was that like? What was that like leading up to that? Like when he was getting dressed and leaving, what was the conversation? Like it just felt like there was going to be way more meat to the bone than what there was, and it wasn't. It feels a lot like a sampler than an actual meal, but it's a hell of a dope sampler though. I could see them absolutely making, you know, it's funny, obviously the design of the movie and the way they have it planned is completely different, but a movie like this, if it does really well, like you could do, you know, 3 or 4 versions of this movie, or, you know, and then show each moment, like, you know, and then just kind of like live in it for a little bit. And I don't know if it's because maybe Jafar is not really an actor, you know what I mean? Like this was his first acting role. Maybe they didn't want to give him too much. I don't really know. But even going up to where they stopped at, which is 1988, it was just like, damn, like what? Like, okay, I'll give you an example. So obviously he's in the studio, he's making Thriller, and you know, he's coming up with a name, and they're just showing you montages of him looking at like scary movies from back in the day, and then note cards on a pinboard. And it's like that was it. Like another thing to think about, like there was like no meaningful moments with him and his brothers. Like you would not one conversation like with some in-depth drama, nothing. Like it just so you mean to tell me that he didn't, according to this movie, never really hung out with his brothers at all? Like, I don't know. It's just like little things like that kind of, if I'm being honest, as a theatrical release, as a movie lover, and, you know, somebody who loves good storytelling, I felt like it was missing. And I don't know what it was. I don't know, you know, again, it's so much to ask to put Michael's life, even half of it, into 2 hours. And especially if you're going to start from the beginning. It's just, it's just not realistic, you know. But what they did and what they had to work with, I think they did an excellent job. You know, could it have been better? 100%. As a Michael Jackson fan, am I pumped up? And would I go see it again? Yes, I'm going to go see it again. I might see it actually 4 times if I'm being honest with you. I went to go see it, you know, early access. I'm going to see it with my wife. My homies want to see it with me. So, you know, we got to represent, you know what I'm saying? We out here. You know what I'm saying? Us Michael fans, we are out here. And I guess I'll wrap it up by saying this, and I don't mean to bring this on a down note, but the movie had me feeling so sad sometimes just to think about what Michael Jackson was actually going through, you know, just like a little bit of a glimpse that the movie actually showed you. Like this guy like meant so much to the world. He was so incredible, but you know, behind the scenes at home, it was a whole nother world for him. And he had to live with that. Like there was a scene where he was talking to his mom, and his mom was like, you know, I want you to have friends. I want that for you. And he's like, but I can't, Mom. Like, the kids don't look at me the same way. Like they want to just take pictures, you know. And it's insane to think that he lived his whole life as a fish in a fishbowl, you know. And that's sad, you know. But I gotta say this too, man. I'm super. It's going to sound so weird, but I'm just so happy that I got to live within the same timeline as Michael. And there's so many great people in history that even for me, I've thought to myself, damn, I wonder what it would have been like to live during that time, you know, like when Thomas Edison was around or when Martin Luther King was living, you know, and just the inspiration and all that stuff that was going on. And like to have lived during the timeline that Michael Jackson was on the same earth, it's just, for me, it's such a blessing, you know what I mean? Like to, you know, my daughters have never seen him perform live. Like a lot of people are getting to know Michael now, but they don't understand what it was like. Like this guy would be like, hey, I'm releasing a music video in 2 weeks. And all of the networks would stop playing whatever they regularly had and play 15 minutes of Michael Jackson's music video, and every network would play it, not just in the United States, but all around the world. Anything this guy did basically stopped time. And man, jeez, what an incredible human being. What a light, what a blessing. And yeah, dude, honestly, the Michael movie's dope. For us fans, I think it's worth a see, just to even get an understanding of who the man was, you know? Like, there's so many reasons. I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, I get why he loved animals, you know? Like, in many ways, you know, we go to the zoo and we stare and take photos at a lion, and then we go about our day. And that's kind of the way Michael saw other people looking at him, you know? And so he can relate to all the animals, which is why he had all the animals even before he had Neverland and all the theme and parks and amusements and zoos and everything else that he got into later on. But yeah, man, it was a great time, man. It was a great time. And I love the fact that, like, we can just get together and just enjoy music. Like, that right there is fire, man. Anyway, Michael's dope, in my opinion. And I told you this was not going to be like a proper review or whatever it is that you're used to seeing when it comes to movie reviews. This is absolutely my perspective. And yeah, man, this jacket is fly, bro. Fly, right? Yo, this dude knew what he was doing. Look at this. This is 2026, and this jacket is still sick, bro. Like, what are we talking about right now? All right, guys. Thank you for watching. If you like technology, check out my other videos, subscribe, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.